This is Dobie Dog with Bourbon and Badges, the podcast, season 7, episode 9 with Slow, Hound Dog, and the Rodney, the voice of the uncommon people.
There you
Who
go,
knows what
Dobie.
kind of rabbit hole we're going to go down, but it can be interesting and always honest. And if you don't like it,
if you don't like it, good.
That's good.
If you don't like it, good.
I tell you,
If
man,
you don't like it, that's good too.
Take it or leave it. Yeah.
if you're one of 3 people that like me, great. If you're not, then you're not.
Keep your circle small.
Well, you know, we're like our
Yep.
bourbon, uncut, unfiltered. So there you go.
Right. That's right. Well, we got a group of guys here today. Kind of some of the walking wounded, some got technical difficulties maybe. So we want to get that up front. Slow. You're dealing with some allergies.
Yeah, I got a lot of allergy stuff going on. I went hiking Sunday. Done about
Shoot
4
out mountain
miles.
hiking. Oh, nice.
1,500 feet elevation and back.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, man, woke up Sunday and just.
Oh,
So if you hear me go mute sometime, that's because I'm here hacking and coughing. But I'm trying to mute that so nobody else hear it.
hacking and coughing. All right.
And the hound dog.
You doing okay with your computer?
Fingers crossed,
right now,
man.
brother?
Fingers
You had
crossed.
Some issues coming in. His fingers
I
are
like that,
crossed to the
Dobie.
people on the listening side. His fingers are
crossed.
crossed.
Yeah.
And Dobie crossed his 2 middle fingers because
Yeah.
that's what we do on this show. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway,
okay,
yeah,
good
all right, man. So
You know,
I'm so done already. Huh?
that
Season
introduction
7?
that Dobie just did was spot on. He did a good job, Dobie. But I think that was the first time in a long time that none of us said anything totally fucking stupid during the music.
Give us time.
During the music.
Next week. Next week's coming.
We got another 57 minutes left, so
Hey,
it's coming.
I'll say this. Prior to the podcast, during our pre-podcast meeting, the Rodinator, he's on the phone with Chopper Dave.
Chopper Dave gave me a call right before the show.
Yeah, a real dear friend of the podcast, also retired Charlotte Mech officer. And had we known he's talking to Chopper Dave while he's doing that whole
We'd have been
thing,
recording.
he was talking about stuff, we'd went in and
We'd have
started
been recording.
podcasting.
Put it on the air.
There was no political conversations in that phone call.
Yeah, that would have been a rabbit hole with some cursing. No, you would have loved it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, regular show, right?
Yeah, absolutely. YouTube would just be opening the cell door for us.
No.
Oh, God.
I'm
Okay,
going to finish her
folks.
up tonight, guys. I'm going to get her done.
Knob Creek. Slow's got Knob Creek on screen for
Get her
those on the
done.
listening side. Oh, God. I guess, hey, well,
Yeah.
it'll knock out your allergies. Maybe it'll help with a little bit.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
Clean
It's
up
going to
some
help me
nasal
sleep
passages.
anyway.
Yeah.
It helps you guys tolerate me a little more.
Oh, wait a minute. Shouldn't that be the other way around?
Yeah, you're easier to handle.
No, I can't tolerate y'all at all, period. So,
All right, guys. Well,
hey, I do have a offbeat story you guys hadn't heard about. I meant to bring up during the pre-podcast meeting.
okay, good.
And I don't mind. I don't think she minds me telling this, but my cousin Robin's here.
At the
So
house?
she,
Too late
yeah,
now.
she's
Hey, Robin.
downstairs at the table,
Okay.
and she's always had a real good sense of humor. So I've had fun with her, aggravating her, and using her at
No,
her
you wouldn't do
expense. But yeah, I've got Tom, my mentor up here. He's I keep telling me you got to come meet my cousin Robin. She's up here for a while. Yeah, I'm gonna take her to Cherokee on a hike and leave her.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And
I'll
Hound Dog,
believe you do that.
yeah, Hound Dog. Well, Hound Dog knows her
Yeah.
as well. She's
talking
good friends with the Mark and Digger of the Moonshiners, and she went to all their festival stuff. Become real good friends with them. And she's going to set them up on our podcast at
That'd
one
be cool.
point. So when I take her up there and leave her up in Cherokee, I'm going to get a bottle of Mark and Digger's
Oh,
moonshine
nice.
and have a drink with her for turn her loose.
No
have y'all
gummies.
picked up?
No
have y'all
gummy
guys
bears.
picked? Have you guys
Yeah,
picked
you
up
gonna
on
get
this
rid
at
of
all
it.
yet?
Hey,
Yeah.
we were
You're leaving
we were
her.
detectives at one
Leaving
time. That's so
Yeah,
cool.
just leave her.
Yeah, but
I heard you. I
Well,
just
you
didn't know
know-
whether I didn't know whether to laugh about it or we're in like a crime together now. Like,
well, I'll tell you,
we're all-
my mentor up here, Tom. Yeah, my mentor, Tom. Yeah,
I didn't want to say anything yet,
Yeah.
on the air. It's
don't
recorded
incriminate
live.
yourself.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
at least you won't be an eye.
Slow,
Yeah.
shut up. Slow, shut up.
Yeah. So,
Well, I keep telling Tom, you got to come meet her, man. She realizes she wants to meet you. And Tom thinks she's imaginary.
Oh, really?
I'll go ahead and give it away. She died in a car wreck a year and a half ago.
Oh.
And I'm taking her ashes up there.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave her up at. She loved Cherokee, and she wants to be her ashes be dumped up
I
there.
didn't know that she
Love
had
the
passed away,
outdoors.
man. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, she's
Oh,
a car wreck. Her and the
They
boyfriend.
got hit head on, right?
Robin. Yeah, I can't remember the total details,
Yeah.
but Robin's a big girl. She couldn't wear her seatbelt. She's that big. Boyfriend survived
Yeah,
wearing a
I do
seatbelt. She
remember that.
didn't. So
I don't mean to laugh. I just
Robin's downstairs listening in right now, guys. So
your earlier question, you guys catch this shit? I didn't catch any of that shit. You just like blew me away by saying she's really not downstairs. She's in an urn. You know, like I mean, that really just.
I can
Well,
see.
like
I
that,
can see the look on Rod's face. It was
I had
just kinda
no
like,
idea that was
I
what's
did too
going on.
at
I thought there
first.
was a real person downstairs, and that's why I said say hi to Robin. I mean, I don't know.
well, hot dogs. Hey, we figured it out. We're detectives.
But I will tell you this.
While we're still looking around with the magnifying glass. I don't know what the fuck.
That is one of the times I've ever seen Rod sitting there going,
Yeah.
I'm just like nothing
Blank.
to say.
Blank look. Yeah. It's like the computer.
I
went
can
just
see it
blank.
in your eye, like, what's going on? What?
Yeah. So a couple of weeks ago, I have a road trip. So anyway, yeah, I thought that was, and she would not mind. Seriously, she's sitting there right now. She'd be 100% for it.
Oh yeah.
But
Well, that's good,
yeah, I
man.
thought that was amusing, and especially when Strive and Tom about it. He ain't figured it out either.
You going up there and going to spread them? Or you going up there and burying it somewhere?
Yeah, I'm gonna spread her out, man. Downwind.
Okay.
Ain't nothing worse than the face full of your cousin. So downwind.
Yeah. Come on, it's family. You know.
Yeah.
That's kind of creepy.
Yeah, well, I'm from
It is in the
Gaston.
mountains.
So.
Yeah, that's true. Man, we're
Yeah.
getting dark
That's true.
right
Yeah,
now.
this is acceptable up here.
Yeah. This
All
is
right,
even
guys.
dark for us. Okay, face full of cousin. That's the line of the fucking show right there.
Knob, guess what Knob Creek's for? You'll see you guys know what I'm drinking. What you guys drinking?
Oh yeah.
Same thing as last week.
Yeah, mine's last week too. Oh, okay. Some
Johnny Walker Black Label.
scotch.
And good old
Johnny Walker Black
Benchmark.
Label.
Good job.
Yeah, benchmark. It looks like a liter. Is that a liter there? Double
Won't be
D?
when I'm done.
Won't be when I'm done. You come up here, man. You'll fit right in. Hey, I found a half gallon of Buffalo
Oh, yeah.
Trace the other day
Right.
over in Johnson City, Tennessee. Yeah, I got a half gallon and another pint because I don't see those much.
That's cool.
Yeah, sitting over here and the rest of that crap over here.
I tell you a little short story, but
ain't never said
I
a
get too
short
sidetracked.
story.
But tell on myself. But when true, you're right. So when I first come down here, I met what is now my stepdaughter and my wife, and to eat. And she
When you
had
say
never been
down here, you talking about Alabama.
Yeah. And she's her comment to her mother, he's country as hell. I'm like, wait a minute, this is coming from somebody in Alabama. I am like, okay, I'm telling on myself.
Well, but you're actually in one of those giant big cities or right outside a big city, right?
Yeah. Well, the biggest city in the state, which their biggest city in the state is like 200,000. So Winston-Salem size, kind of. But the one thing right here is once you get out of the city, it goes really rural, really quick. I mean, it's just like instantly.
Oh really? Kind of like Vegas in and out. All of a sudden you're in nowhere.
Yep.
Cool. All right.
Yeah,
Want to
man.
get into some of those little things we'll talk about? Let's see if people want to stick around or they want to hang up now and get out while they can.
Now, does
Yeah,
that include us? Can we leave?
You sure can. Just pop out. Say you're having computer troubles and pull the
Hot
plug.
dog might.
I'll talk to myself for an hour. I'll run the show. Anyway, so we got, of course, crime, folks, and more crime. That's one thing about this show. We have an abundance of. We actually have to pick the topics because there's so much shit going on. But it wouldn't be a show
Yeah, it would
without us
not.
mentioning Chicago, now would it?
Nope.
No. So we got.
We need to shot a cop on here one day.
God, geez, if Chicago. Oh, by the way, Chicago won the award, guys. Most homicides per capita. They're the champs again for 2024.
Yeah, there you go.
Most homicides per number of people, whatever. Chicago's
Kinda
number
off
one.
that, there's a-
St. Louis number two.
Well,
There's a
thank
lady
goodness.
that works at Gastonia that works in the in not property, but evidence. Mm-hmm. They added a second person, and her husband moved down here from Chicago, and they're both retired Chicago PD.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh yeah.
Now, I didn't mention the thing I never thought about. Yeah,
Well, it's a good thing
is
Chicago
a
is a
good thing.
gun-free city, so.
Oh, absolutely.
It
It
would
would be really dangerous.
Oh, yeah.
Really dangerous. Yeah, I mean it's so fucking.
the criminals might have a gun.
Anyway, last weekend, 15 shot in Chicago, 4 dead. The rest walking around with a limp or some shit, right? So that's Chicago for you. Nothing done about it. Nothing done. They won the award again. Most killed. So they don't care. Their
an
mayor's
idiot.
like, the mayor went up to Capitol Hill to testify.
He is a
and
dumb.
boy, is
I
he is
watched
dumb
that,
as
man.
shit. Like, yeah, was it
Yeah, I did
Macy?
too.
What's the one Congresswoman? She said she asked him a question like, "What's 2 + 2?" And he went, "Well, Congressman, blah, blah, blah." She goes, "That's why you're rating at 6% because you can't answer a freaking question."
Yeah.
And she went on to the next guy. It was hilarious. And he's just sitting there like a deer in headlights. That's all he does.
Brutal.
Oh man, he's
Oh, yeah,
terrible.
yeah. No,
you know what I'm
exactly
talking
what I'm
about, right? Like, I mean, yeah, he's like always like just looking like a he doesn't know where
that
he's
has
at or like
Sanctuary
he's shot all
City
the time.
mayors on at Capitol Hill testifying. Yeah.
That's what it was. That's what I was asking about that.
Right.
Yeah, because they're breaking federal law. They're literally breaking federal law. Right. Okay. We got another one here where we have illegal aliens kill a man. They were stealing a catalytic converter from under a car. A good neighbor comes out, Hispanic Latino neighbor. I don't know which term you want me to use, so I don't really care. Another dude, same nationality, comes out, confronts him, and rather than just running off or whatever, they shoot and kill him.
What's a big deal? The catalytic converter thing's a big deal.
They are.
Oh, they are.
Yep.
It's a
And
copper
you know
in
what?
it, correct?
Yeah,
You remember when we were cops, right? They cut them out of the cars. We'd have to attack the junkyards that took them. You know, you had to get on the junkyards that would take them, or the people that would take in the catalytic converters illegally, in order to stop it from there being a market, right? So we would be hitting them both, like it was
Yeah, and the
ridiculous.
junkyards try to play stupid. If some guy shows up with 40
Yeah.
catalytic converters, well, I didn't know. How do you not know?
Yeah.
And they were bad about hitting your churches because they leave the vans out in the parking lot and they come, nobody's there because they knew nobody was going to be there.
Right. We also got a radical pro-Palestinian activist. Okay, so this guy went to Columbia University, and they caught him. You know how now we're kind of cracking down on this now. The new administration, Trump, whether you like him or not, is telling colleges, you're going to lose your federal funding if you don't do the following things. One of them is quit letting men get in women's sports, quit letting Palestinian supporters assault and harass Jewish students at the universities, and so forth. If you do, you're going to lose your federal funding, among other things, and we might prosecute you if we can find a way to do that because you're failing to protect the students who go to your school. So this guy is very deep into it. Very deep into it. In other words, like
He's got
I'm
the
sure
same facial expression as the mayor you just showed from Chicago.
Yeah, just dumb as shit. Yeah, but apparently he's deep into it. Like he might have a straight hotline to the Gaza Strip type of guy. You know what I'm saying? He's got
No, was he illegal alien or he was just one of ours?
He's been going to school here. And he's been doing fine, but he's one of these. He
has a visa,
a
green
radical
card.
pro-Palestinian activist. Yeah, and they're trying to deport him. And a federal judge somewhere in Seattle somewhere has blocked it for the time being, of course, because it's Seattle, Washington.
Seattle.
Yeah, and so they blocked it temporarily. So we'll see what happens with that. But he got picked up too. We have a bad story. A missing teenager was killed. She apparently got mixed up with the wrong couple, and they ended up finding her, folks. We'll talk about it a little bit later. Dismembered in a trash can. Really not really like a trash can. It's more like you go to an abandoned house. Well, you go to an abandoned house and there's like a pit of nothing, like leading into the basement. And you throw trash. You throw like you're drinking, and it's like a garbage can. They threw her body parts in there. Like I'll show you a picture. It's not good. And then Dobie Dog, the Texas man involved in the immigration probe accused of violent assault on American Airlines. That was on a plane, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Going to D.C.
Is that the one who wanted to come see Trump? He had something to talk
She's
about?
up because he's mad at Trump.
Okay. Yeah, so Dobie, you talk a little about that, Dobie
Yeah.
Dog, later? Cool,
Yeah.
cool. So anyway, we got a few things going on,
Yeah,
folks.
full plate.
And there's even more than that. And we know what we're drinking today, right? So does anybody
I'm
want to
drinking
talk
the same
about
thing
the
as
drinks,
last
or we
week,
good to
man.
go?
I really like it. It's right in my wheelhouse. I think it does have a made with wheat in it. So if you ever get a hold of Cook's Mill, check it out, man. I highly recommend it.
Cook's Mill. Yeah,
Cool.
Knob
Yeah.
Creek for me, no surprise. It's just a daily drinker.
It's not the maple sweet
Oh, just regular 9-year-old Knob Creek.
9-year-old
Benchmark. I mean, what does it say? It's made by Buffalo Trace. It's price and everything. It's just it's a go-to. I mean, you can't knock it.
It's inexpensive
yeah.
enough to drink it straight or as a mixer. Yeah, you don't pour a $50 or $60 bottle of whiskey on Coke or something, but
No.
Yeah, this
But that you
Johnny Walker,
certainly can.
this Johnny Walker Black Label's pretty stout, guys. Strong. It burns from start to finish. So
yeah.
it's a whiskey.
So, Rod,
Yeah, it's pretty
can you
stout.
tell the difference between that
Wouldn't
and
be a
maybe the
daily
red
drinker.
label,
Go ahead.
Johnny Walker? Have you ever did a comparison of those two?
I've never really had them side by side, but that black is pretty stout. I'm not sure what the red one
I
is.
don't-
The
I
red
don't know.
is supposed to be
I don't
more
know
or
how that
less. Do you
goes.
know? I don't know.
Yeah, we got the red label, black label, gold
Blue and
label,
green.
There's a blue, too,
label.
right? Isn't there
Yeah,
blue?
blue
Yeah, the
label.
blue's like
I think
almost
blue's high dollar, like blue.
$250 a bottle.
Yeah, my a good friend of mine back home in New York, Robert. He drinks. I saw him drinking Blue Label once. Yeah,
And all that is Scotch, of course, which is a whiskey.
a whiskey. Yeah, it's a whiskey. So
And it can only be called Scotch because it's from. It's good. There you go. Yeah, kind of like our bourbon. We can't call something Scotch over here. It has to be from, from over there to be called Scotch.
all right,
All right.
There you go.
There's your bourbon
Good.
lesson for the day.
there you go. Yeah, we call it bourbon and badges for nothing.
That's
All
right.
right. So let me start with this mayor guy in Chicago, guys. Again, they won the title this year, but 15 people were shot this past weekend. 4 of them fatally during Mayor Brandon Johnson's Chicago. So it's no stranger. Chicago, strictest gun laws in the land. We talk about it all the time. The worst gun violence in the land per capita, per number of people, and it's like, to me, guys, it's like being tone deaf. Like, if I'm in charge of that city and that's happening, I'm doing something about it to stop it
Right,
from happening.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I agree.
And the thing is this: the mayor is a black guy. I don't know if this should play into it or not, but I'm gonna say it. He's a black guy, and there's black people killing other black people in the city, and that's the stats. That's not me talking. That's the stats on Chicago stats. That's mostly what's happening. That's 80, 85, 90% is black on black crime. So the community needs some help, okay? And the elected leaders,
I'm
right?
going to say it needs some leadership, what it needs.
Right. The elected leaders are in charge of the city. The police, we all have experience here. Well, 120 years of experience right here. When you have a problem like this, I can stop that problem. Right here. Rod Nader, I could stop that problem if they would let me. Put me in charge and watch. But you can't yell, oh, the civil rights. And all. You can't yell all that bullshit, okay? Because I'm going to do it like they did in New York with the stop and frisk stuff, and I'm just going to be out there. We're going to have people out there. We're going to be talking to people. We're going to be stopping people. We're going to be patting people down. Deal with it. Or keep dying. It's your choice. And I guess what I'm saying, guys, is, and I'll say this is because I'm one of these guys who's like, tells it like it is. I guess people voted for him.
Oh, yeah.
And
elected
he's now
official.
the mayor. And this is what you get when you vote for somebody for other than what they really stand for. This guy was a straight up commie. I mean, we knew this when he was talking. He was
But
of that mindset.
It's hard to believe that because half the people in Chicago are felons. They almost can't vote.
There you go. But so what I'm saying, what do you guys think about this? Honestly, he was voted.
Oh, yeah,
remember who was
Beetlejuice,
before him? Beetlejuice. Remember her?
Yeah.
We thought she was
he's-
bad. This guy is her
But
equal or worse.
Their answer
Yeah.
is
I don't
more
get
gun
that.
laws.
Right.
Somebody has got it in their head that that's the only way to fix the problem.
Well, I'm here to tell you,
Like
too, if you asked any cop how to fix it, we don't need more laws. We don't need more cops.
Yeah.
We need to enforce the laws
Yeah.
we have and hold people accountable.
Right. See. Again, this is what I try to tell people. What's more gun laws going to do? It's illegal to have a gun in Chicago, and they have them. So they're breaking that law, and then they're taking said gun and killing people. That's against the law. Or robbing people. That's against the law. Or
And the-
carjacking people. That the laws are there. You just
And with the
have
laws
to
they
people
enforce
who
it.
do
laws they
not have-
create, they create victims.
Right.
They have a
The
big
people who
victim pool
don't-
now.
Right. Right.
we
and
have
only-
laws for people who have a moral conscience.
Well, it
The
only
people
works
who
on
don't have
law-abiding
one
people.
are
Right.
not gonna go abide by them anyway.
The only people who obey laws are law-abiding people. And we're not the ones committing the crimes, but you're the ones disarming us. And I don't mean
Well-
us, but disarming the people. They can't even protect themselves, but they're obeying the law, while the criminals aren't. So it's not more laws; it's enforcing the laws on the book. No different than the immigration laws at the border. That's been the whole
Well,
problem.
the Chicago mayor listen to us. So,
Yeah,
so
we'll fix
mayor,
it for you.
give us a call. We'll fix this for you.
Oh, sure.
We'll come down for a weekend and clear things
Trust
out for you. And
Trust me. If they set that police department loose and let them do what they need to do, just like in New York, remember when Giuliani was in charge, cleaned up the subways, cleaned up streets, had stop and frisk. Everybody let that go for a few years, cleaned everything up. Then they started bitching. It's racist. Always dropping the R word. It's racist to do this. They were saving lives. People stopped dying in New York. Crime rate dropped dramatically. But Chicago, they just And no, I just don't understand, guys, because you think the community would yell, why are you letting our people die? Why are you letting us get slaughtered? Why don't you do something about it? I don't understand why. Like, if there was a bunch of murders here in Gastonia, and I mean a bunch, I know we have some, but I mean a bunch, we would be all over the Gastonia. I mean, you guys worked at Gastonia Police. When you had a crime problem somewhere, you better put some fucking resources there or you hear about it. Am I right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, no, you're exactly right.
Yeah, saturation, right? Undercover stuff, surveillance. Like, you threw the whole enchilada at that son of a bitch. You got your CIs, who's doing this, who's doing that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the way the structure basically works, just for the non-cop listeners, Rodney's retired captain, Dobie and I retired sergeants, and then Hound Dog, Slick Sleeve. But if there's an issue, the captain, our captain, we have captains assigned to a certain district. And the sergeants, everybody assigned to certain districts. The captain come to you, okay, we got this issue, bring me a solution. It's up to us to sit down and figure out a solution to fix this.
It's like when I was in street crimes with the gray shirts, which basically street level gang, dope, that kind of thing. Captain come in, we got a problem. They're selling dope over here. Go take care of it. Mm-hmm. Okay, guys, go fix it. Mm-hmm. And they did.
And generally, it's a zero tolerance thing. Once you go into an area, boom, everybody's getting hammered.
I had a
because the criminals, the dope dealers, the people are going to rob, and all these people, they need to be afraid of the police.
Sure.
What I mean by that,
they need consequences.
There need to be consequences. They know if we're out here on the street corner slinging dope, wherever his house selling meth or whatever, they might be kicking our door at any time. And we need to make sure we're not.
We made this connection. It's like a child. Child's got to have rules. He's got to know there's a punishment for something he does wrong. Don't touch the stove. It's hot. He touches the stove, he gets his hand burned. He'll never touch the stove again.
Oh, yeah.
You just have consequences. Very simple. Very simple.
It applies to everybody.
I know one of our chiefs when he came in, he really was into accountability. Each accountability. His command staff, he held us accountable. So when you ever heard of ComStat, guys? You guys do that?
Yeah, explain to our listeners.
ComStat's when you have like the chief and all his deputy chiefs and majors are up front, and you're sitting here in a chair, almost like you're getting interrogated by ISIS or some shit. Lamps are on you, and you're calling out your crime stats. You're telling what you're doing about certain things. You're giving stats, numbers. They're asking questions. They're firing at you, and the problem, you got to be able to justify what you're doing, why your numbers are this, why they're that, how'd they get up, how'd they go down. It's basically holding you accountable for your area. So I had an area response, area 1, and I had a group of guys. And one of the reasons was, I just liked the job, and I hate criminals. But if there was anything going on in my area, my guys would tell me, I would literally tell them, guys, okay, this is who we're looking for. Don't come back to work and go home until he's in handcuffs. They go, roger that, and they go. And sure enough, they'd bring his ass back in. Mm-hmm. Hey, can we go home now? You can go home now. Like it's that simple. Like we would just identify the problem, the solution, implement. It's very simple, right? If all the shootings are happening at the corner of this street and that street, where do you concentrate your surveillance? The corner of this street and that street. Right. If this house has 15 calls for service, shots fired, this, that, drug activity, what house do you go put surveillance on? What house do you get a warrant for? What house do you send a CI into? What house? I don't understand why the problem's not being... Because when you look at a map of Chicago, guys, on that Jackass Chicago, the site we love to go to, there's a map. Yeah, Hound Dog, you can see there's a map where most of the crimes occur. They have areas. And if you drop cops in there and saturate those areas, you're either going to stop the crime or move it, disperse it, which is fine too. At least you start... There it is. It's very simple, and they have the information. And with today's technology, helicopters, drones, I mean, they can do all sorts of things to not be number one in fucking homicides. Like, why isn't anybody screaming about this?
The thing about it, Rod, it's been that way for how many years?
Yeah, since Beetlejuice. I mean, yeah.
Like
but why is that the norm? It's the norm, and it shouldn't be the norm. Yeah, it shouldn't be the norm. I don't know how you could live in a city like that and want to live there.
And like you say, you tell these officers, okay, this is what's going on. They're selling dope. They're having shootings over here. Most of them are going to want to go work.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
If you let them work, they'll work.
Administrations or whoever it may be, mayor, whoever, it's not letting them.
You want to hear some?
Yep. They're more worried about people being harassed by the police than there are people being dead in pools
Yeah.
of blood in the streets. 15 a weekend. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just, I don't know. It's pretty simple. We all know it's wrong, but they let it go on for some
The
reason.
U.S. Supreme Court did a ruling, and I can't remember what case law it was in, but they said it was the police officer's job to go out and cause havoc, to harass, and to manipulate, and to something. But yeah, big long list of everything that we should be doing, and it's backed by the United States Supreme
So
Court.
I got some stats pulled up for
Unbelievable.
Chicago. You want to hear some the latest stats?
Yeah, what site?
Hey,
What
Jackass.
site is that again, Hound Dog?
Yeah, Chicago. Yeah,
Hey Jackass, Chicago, folks.
Yes,
That's
sir.
literally HEY
So,
Jackass, Chicago. Okay.
March. This month. This is what, the 10th day into March, maybe 11th day into March.
11th.
12 shot and killed, 30 shot and wounded, total shot 42, total homicides 12. That's in the.
And that's through.
Yeah.
That's what.
That's
it sounds
Chicago
Month
right
of
there.
Like. Is that through March or the month of March?
So far,
That's the
11
the
days
month of
into
March. Okay.
Yeah.
now the
I got you.
I think for the
year
years, like
to
40
date,
something,
year to date
70
in
something.
Chicago, shot and killed 68, shot and wounded 217, total shot 285, total homicides is 76.
And it's
So how much-
2.5 months into the year.
76.
76 murders.
So times that by it's not 6, and that's 400. That's almost 500
Right.
homicides again. They're heading towards,
A person-
which is what they had this year.
a
500
person
and
shot.
something this year.
They're
How many
almost
cops
to a
does
death.
does that many cops
What?
that they employ?
I don't know how big
I
Chicago
don't know, it's
department
pretty
is.
good
You guys know?
size. Yeah.
Oh, they got to be huge.
It's got to be.
So,
it's got to be huge.
A
Yeah,
person
it's
is
gotta
shot
be
every
size.
5 hours and 50 minutes. A person is murdered every 22 hours and 5 minutes. Yeah, one a day.
So one a day,
Yep.
24
Yep.
hours, 24 hours in a day, right? One a day. Isn't that great?
But anyway,
Anyway,
yeah.
all right. Are we good with Chicago? Did we drive the point home on what a dump? and
Yeah, I
how
hope so.
poorly run Chicago
so.
is? I hope so. I hope so. And I've been
And the
there. I
sad part
visited,
is
I get
nobody's
it.
willing to do anything about it.
All right, as
just
of
gonna keep going.
2023, Chicago PD was 11,703 officers. That's
That's
sworn
pretty good size,
officers.
Paul.
Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty good size. Yep. Anyway, all right. I'm letting the blood pressure come down. Chicago, we done?
Let's get
We
something
good?
else to elevate your blood
Okay.
pressure.
Let's just move on.
Well, I tell you, a side note was you're sitting there talking to Chopper Dave about politics. I told Hound Dogs, I hope he gets that out of his system before he gets on the air
Here
tonight.
we are.
Yeah, and here we are, right? The stories
Well,
just bring me right
back.
back.
It's all cop stuff. We're talking about cop stuff, so.
Yeah. Anyway, next story I wanted to touch base on is the catalytic converters. It's been a while since I heard them stealing this shit again, but I guess they're doing it again. This was in Inglewood, California. These two lovely guys decided to steal catalytic converters from underneath a car, and a neighbor came out. These two guys apparently live there, but they're both illegal. One is a Guatemalan national, and the other is a Salvadorian national. So neither should be here. Douchebag number one has 11 pages long criminal history in the United States. And douchebag number two has a 6-page. So I'm just saving the trouble of going through shit. But
Yeah.
6 pages long. So they've been here, they've committed crime, and they're still on the street, and now they murdered somebody. And they shouldn't even be here.
And the sanctuary city is protecting them.
Yes. California. It's,
Yeah.
It's
crazy
unbelievable. It's
California.
unbelievable.
It is unbelievable. And people get so uptight now about the border being shut down. Why? Like, that's what it's. People. This is what I attribute it to, guys. It's when a woman is abused by a man for 1, 2, 3, 5, 10 years. It's her norm. She gets used to it. And when her friends come and go, honey, that's not normal. You shouldn't let him do that to you.
He don't mean it.
Oh, it's
He don't
okay.
mean
it. That's what this shit. That's what this. That's what this reminds me of. Like it's so normal now. It's been normalized, you know.
So does that
So-
mean you guys really don't mean the mean things y'all say to me?
Yeah, we mean every damn bit of
Oh
it.
no, we mean every damn word. Yeah, we mean every damn bit of it there.
Oh, that's what I thought.
I know.
If we didn't, so you'd think something was wrong.
Yeah. But apparently
They're
this
being
guy.
nuts. What's wrong?
Yeah. These guys were under a car. I mean, just bold as shit. It's parked in the street. One guy's under the car. King,
Yeah.
king, king. You know, another guy standing up. Here comes the victim walking down the street. I'm not sure if he had a dog or not. I saw a video. or if he was just walking and he said something to him, and you think the guy would just go, "Hey man, someone's here, let's go," and just kind of walk away. Like the one guy's not going to go jump on two guys. No, he pulls a gun and shoots the guy, kills him.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. So and they rounded him up, and this is who's here. These are some of the types of people who are here. If you yelling out there going, "Well, we have our own Americans that commit crimes," no shit, and we'll worry about them. Yeah. How about we let other countries worry about their shit and their criminals in their country? We don't need any more here. Did I just mention Chicago stats? Okay, then. We don't need any more. We don't need anybody else here.
Just kind of side note on that. If you think about a lot of these Salvadorian countries and these third world countries, they are not a gun culture, right? Like we are. Correct? So now you take these people that are that violent. Now they have them.
Oh,
whereas opposed, they're used to more of a knife culture. Now now they come over here illegally just so they can vote. And then now they have access to guns and they have that violent tendency.
Yeah.
Everybody don't that much worse.
So I kind of got a funny story about the catalytic converter theft. I was on patrol.
Go ahead.
Been a while back, of course, but I was riding down
that is funny.
riding down Linwood Road there in Gastonia, and there's a church sitting off to the left. I can't think of the name of the cross street right off the top of my head, but anyway, so it's about 6:30, 7 o'clock at night, and it's in the summertime, so it's, of course at 6:30, 7 o'clock, it's bright as hell out. You can still see everything real clear. And I happened to look over to this church, and they have the churches park their vans or whatnot underneath or out there in the parking lot. I see something underneath a van. I said, "Huh, look at that." So I wheel in there, and I have my windows down, and I hear this damn noise, and I thought, I bet he's stealing the damn catalytic converter. So I get out, I pull up. The guy's still oblivious that I'm there. He don't know, he hadn't seen me or heard me yet, because he got this sawzall going, cutting his catalytic converter off. Not even trying to hide it. So
not even trying to hide it. Just
so I
businessman.
I'm sitting there, and he's still going to town with that damn sawzall, and so I get out of the car. And he still don't know I'm there. Still laying underneath the car. Still don't know I'm there. So I kind of get down and lay down on the ground beside him. And I said, "Hey, man. Hey, you about done?" And he turns around. He turns around.
Him now.
His eyes are this damn big when he sees me. And I said, "Come on, get off from underneath there." And he did. He set it down. I said, "Man, you got me. You got me fair and square." He said, I was still in the, he said I was still in that catalytic converter, because you can get I think at the time you can get $40 for them. And so he crawled out from underneath the car. I said, "Well, before you get all the way out from underneath there, how about handing me that sawzall and all those tools you got there?" Yeah. And he did. He handed it to me, got up, I handcuffed him, put it in the car, and charged him with stealing the catalytic converter.
Damn.
And that's why you ride by some of these churches and they got 10-foot fence around their buses and vans and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. With
It's sad, especially as churches to do that.
Yep. You're right.
Well, people know that nobody's going to be around at night.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, church's hours are predictable.
Yeah, that's why I say it's always good to hit the junkyards and the places that are taking this shit in.
Oh, yeah.
If you stop that, then there's no market for it. You could help a little bit, but that's the way to do it. But
yeah, if you can't sell it, you won't steal it.
Yeah. So they went from stealing a catalytic converter to now. What do we do with them? The Guatemala? Do we send them back home, and just that's it, or do we put them in prison here for life?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's exterminate them.
I mean, what do we do?
We send them to South Carolina.
It's California, so that's not happening.
They don't do that.
Yeah.
No.
They'll
let them take college courses and shit.
Well, it's California. If they say they're sorry
It's okay.
and they won't do it again, they'll give them a second chance.
And they vote.
Well, at least like they were saying in South Carolina, you get to pick how you get put to death. Like a guy that earlier this week.
I love that guy who picked the
firing
death.
squad.
I love he picked the firing squad.
That was
awesome.
This past Sunday, I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah, it just happened. Yeah. First time
18 years, I think it said.
A long time. Yeah, I think the three choices now: electric chair, lethal injection, and firing squad. Right?
Yeah, I think he was afraid of it going awry, and he said that he would rather have just firing squad.
Yeah. Not only that, but then his family go, yeah, he was shot and killed.
Yeah.
They don't really have to tell him he was a scumbag.
No.
You can't say he was electrocuted. He was an electrician. I guess you could say that. I don't know. Anyway, all right. Moving on, guys. This shit pisses me. This is all. I hate that this is all based on like immigrant shit, but it's a big problem, guys. Like,
well, we've allowed so many to come in.
Yeah, and it's not my fault. I wasn't president the last 4 years, so it wasn't my fault. But so you know how these colleges now have been just indoctrinated, I would say, with they're all for Palestine, pro-Palestine, and I get it, guys. We don't want innocent men and women and children being killed in the Israeli and Hamas war, right? But when the Palestinians voted Hamas into power, well, you're kind of in the middle of things now. You're kind of at their mercy because whatever they do politically, right, is going to affect you because they run the show now. And since 2006, that's who you put in power. So anyway, so Israel just whipped the shit out of them. A lot of people dying. So a lot of people here, these liberal-minded students, they have no idea what Palestine is. They have no idea the people there. They have no idea. No one understands why the Palestinian people in Gaza won't go to Egypt. Egypt won't take them. Jordan, they're neighboring countries. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not just let them in? Give them some shelter, right? Now, why? Because wherever they go, they cause fucking problems. I'm going to put it down. I'm just going to leave it right there. They just cause problems. So nobody wants them.
There's a YouTuber that goes around on these college campuses asking me what they're for. Do you know what they do? What if I told you this?
Man, what's that guy?
They're totally oblivious to it.
It's true. They have no idea. Most of them are just out there to be out there. Now, there are some agitators like this guy, who I'm talking about now. He is a professional. Like, he is a serious Palestinian activist who came to the country on a visa, right? He got his degree from Columbia. He went to an Ivy League school. How did that happen? Graduated, but now he's an activist, and they're trying to pull his visa or whatever and send him back, and it's been blocked. I think we said that in gearing up for the show today.
Yeah.
So what's happening, guys, is that you could be pro-Palestinian. It doesn't matter, right? But when you affect other students, the Jewish students, and I don't have a dog in the fight. I ain't a fucking Muslim and I ain't Jewish. I'm just I was raised Catholic, all right? So I don't have a dog in the fight. I just tell it like it is. You can't assault, you can't harass other students because they're Jewish. You just can't.
Period.
Yeah, period. Just like Jewish students can't harass Palestinian students, right? Or you just can't. It's fine to protest. First Amendment right to protest. Yeah, peacefully.
Well,
you can't.
You take this guy like him, and he finds these stupid, ignorant college students. He starts that little stirring the pot. Okay, the Jews are this.
Fill in their heads.
We are all victims. They are the one out. And then they're like, we got to do something about this.
Right.
And then they're totally oblivious to the truth.
Yeah. And all you hear is, Palestinians.
Kind of like this show.
There was a lot. Yeah.
And a lot of those kids are probably your, I don't know, middle class, upper middle class kids who don't have a clue about life in general, have not been outside of their high school, their neighborhood, their school, their city. They don't know shit about the outside world.
Yeah. Columbia University is an Ivy League school. It's a lot of money.
Yeah. So they have not had any kind of life experience, anything really negative for the most part. I mean,
so not a lot of cop kids there.
They literally wear the suicide neck rags that they wear Palestinian. I forget what they call them. They literally, American kids are wearing these things. Do you realize you're supporting terrorism?
They don't have a clue.
Oh, they don't have a clue.
Yeah,
they do not have a clue.
And the only reason you're allowed to do that is because you're here in America. If you did that in another country, they'd hang you upside down and beat you with a rubber hose.
See, that's another thing, too, right?
You have the right to be an idiot here.
Yeah.
People don't realize what they
Drag you
can
behind a
do here.
moped. We've seen that, too. Throw you off a building.
People don't realize what they can do here compared to other countries.
Oh, my God. But they want to yell and rant and rave about it. Yeah. Anyway, so this guy had graduated, like I told you, right? But somehow, the Ivy League school, Columbia, let him stay on campus housing after he graduated. I don't know why. It just says that's where they found him living, on campus housing, but he had already graduated. He earned an undergraduate degree in Beirut and then came here and finished the degree up. Lived in school-provided housing due to a policy allowing students to remain on campus after graduating, a source told the Post. But the Trump administration canceled some $4 million grants, $400 million in grants to Columbia last week because of this. Because they won't stop. Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Hell
good deal.
Yeah.
Because you know,
good.
money hurts. Yeah, it hurts them. So, and all the new administration's asking is that you keep these protests peaceful and you don't let it affect other students.
Protect
keep it peaceful.
everyone.
Control, exactly. Control it. They're allowed to protest. Control it. It's a school. It's not a damn arena.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be learning, going to class.
Well,
So anyway, hopefully this guy can get sent back
have y'all
to,
noticed
go
that
ahead. Hound dog.
these pro-Palestinian people always have their headdress on, their faces covered up? Why is that?
Sure. Sure.
They don't want people to know
They don't
who
want
they
to be
are
seen.
and what
Yeah,
they're
they don't.
doing. But if you
That's
feel
exactly
that
right.
strongly
That's
about
exactly right.
something to go
Because
out there and protest and beat and bang and raise hell and shit, show your damn face.
And they don't want you know why?
No,
Because
absolutely
would
not.
you hire somebody
Hell no.
who you saw doing that kind of shit? That they don't want to do it. Because
Exactly what it is.
when you go to an Ivy League school, you're going to get a high-paying job somewhere
Right.
if you get hired, right? So if you're out there raising hell or burning flags and shit, and an
Yeah, I'm
employer
not
like
hiring
me
that guy.
sees you and goes, "Hey, that's not.
Yeah.
I'm not hiring. She's a troublemaker. If she
Oh,
did
yeah.
that out there, what's her
Exactly.
mindset to screw with me and my company?
Yeah.
I'm not hiring her.
Every single time.
So they cover up.
But
Absolutely.
But what Slow Ride's saying,
Every single time.
the guy that did that, his name is Charlie Kirk. The guy who goes around the college campus, Charlie Kirk.
Yeah,
Charlie Kirk,
Kirk's good.
exactly right.
If,
yes.
if nobody, if anybody
he's
out there
good.
has
I like
not
Charlie.
seen
Oh, he's
or
real
watched
good.
his videos, you need to check him out on YouTube, man. He's amazing.
Very
And
good.
when they challenge him, he just stat
Yeah.
after stat
I saw
after
one the
stat
other day.
and spits it
A
out.
Very
college
knowledgeable,
professor,
very
wherever he was, at, whatever college he was at, was challenging him, and he owned that college professor. He said, "I'm a college
He was
I'm a college
interviewing,
professor, and
Gavin Newsom the other day.
I teach political science or something like that." Boy, he owned this dude.
Yeah. He's not even. It's guys. I listen
No.
to him. He's not even a gotcha guy.
Yeah.
He just has facts on his side. Like,
Oh, yeah.
because he's right.
Yeah.
And what I mean by right is he's correct in what he says. Like everything he says is correct. You might not agree with it, but it's correct.
Oh, yeah.
And,
You're
and
exactly
when you
right.
when you try to argue with him, he just shuts you down. Like,
Have you ever heard him talk about what kind of education level he has?
No, nope.
yeah,
High
he
school.
didn't even go to college.
Nope. And
he does.
he owns them.
He said, and he looked at one guy. The guy goes, "Well, I got a degree and a master's in this, and you didn't even go to college." He goes,
Yeah.
and it was the best decision I ever
Yeah.
made for me.
Yeah.
Look at me now."
And I've heard him one time.
Well, and not
They
only
started
that,
talking
yeah,
about his-
he'll
He's
challenge
written
them,
books
and
and
they
everything
have
else.
zero answers
shuts
to
them down.
why
Zero.
what they're saying.
Zero.
They sit there look like a deer in the headlights. Like
Zero.
I don't know.
And he goes into the belly of the beast. He'll go to these places that don't
Yeah,
want
he
him.
doesn't care.
They protest
Yeah.
him. He's got to come in under security. He's got to leave under security because he's getting his free speech out there. He's trying to get these indoctrinated kids to wake up, man. They're just lost. They're lost. All
They
right.
think because their college
Yeah,
professor
that's what they
tells
think.
them
And
that
the
it's
college
the gospel.
professors, 99% of them are flea or lunatics like the
That's
rest
the problem.
of them.
That's the problem. Exactly right. Exactly right.
You can get too educated. That's from
Right.
certain perspectives.
Absolutely right, dude.
But they kept it to education and not to political
Yeah.
opinions and stuff, and starting to bring
Yeah.
all that in. It'd be fine, but it always goes that way.
Mm-hmm.
I remember my daughter once. She's a college. She got a master's. She might go for a PhD. So she's one, and I feel her slowly getting affected by this crap. She dropped a misogyny word on me like a few months back. I was like, "Oh, hell on earth. Here we go. You know. So anyway, but I told her she tell me sometimes when she's writing papers, she have to, like for debate class, right? You have to be on one side and then like
Yeah.
hound dogs on the other side. So you have to debate this point whether you agree with it or not. You have to debate it.
Yeah.
This is your side, and then So she's like, "Dad, I have to." Blah, blah, blah. I'm
I'll
like,
tell you what,
"Just
if
do
you
what the
can
hell you're
if you can
told."
debate
I said,
for
you know-
something that you're totally against, you're a pretty damn good debater.
"Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, that's what makes Charlie Kirk so good, is because he knows
Yeah.
the questions they're going to ask him before they ask. He has all the answers. He knows already. He could do either way. He goes, "What you're going to say is blah 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 blah, and a fetus is this and blah blah blah, and it's not blah blah blah, blah." And then he says the reason
Oh,
it's
yeah.
a baby is because blah blah, and it's just facts, So that's why he's so good. He knows the answers
Yep.
before he even gets the questions, So he's real good.
Good, man.
All right,
Yep.
moving on. We good?
Yeah.
All right.
Get
well,
on
this
time.
Sad story.
Keep it
right
real
here.
with it.
This little girl right here
Oh man.
is dead, and she was dismembered. So apparently, one of the stories that goes missing teenager, right? in Florida. A couple of sickos, but a man and woman, lured her through an app to meet with them, and on the second or third meeting, she was killed and dismembered. And according to the reports, suspects, a 35-year-old Stephen Gress, lured her through an online app, and then they met in person. And after the first meeting, everything was fine. She went home, but the next day she went back, and then that's when things went wrong. The other one was a 37-year-old Michelle Brandeis, I guess the guy's girlfriend.
Yeah, that's my understanding from it.
Yeah, and that's right, Dobie. You wrote this one up. You have anything you want to run with it? Or you want me to keep running?
Go ahead. You good?
Now, was that their intent all along, is to kill this girl?
Apparently, because they're luring.
Oh yeah.
Well, when you're luring teenage
For
girls,
nefarious purposes.
If you're 35 and you're luring a 16-year-old to your house to stay,
you're already breaking it. You're already breaking the law right there. So they didn't mean her. When they dismembered her too, man, it's not like accidental death. I mean, they cut her up. You know what I'm saying? But she had a grandmother as a primary caregiver. It's one of those stories, I guess parents wanted to act. She was kind of troubled. So apparently something happened at the house. This was in Florida. And the guy just physically assaulted her. There was evidence of that over and above the dismemberment, of course. And they took her remains. And they did throw her in a dumpster. I'm sorry, they did end up throwing her in a dumpster. You guys mentioned that earlier. I thought they threw her in like a little landfill.
They said a dumpster.
I think they killed her in one house, and they went and investigated the house and determined that she had been killed in a house which the suspect's mother owned.
Right.
And then he
was that
took
the,
her.
Was that
like
the
another
abandoned
county
one? Was that the? I thought that was like an abandoned house where kids would party
Something
and stuff.
like that.
And they did something. Yeah.
But they did found the house where the actual murder was committed.
The dismembered, yeah. But they found her body in a dumpster, and then they received a tip about her, and the Brandeis, the female, turned herself into police, facing first-degree murder, and then Guest was arrested on March 5th on an unrelated charge, but then was charged with first-degree murder and kidnapping. They said it was horrific, guys.
Wonder what their end game was. They think I'm going to get by with this? I mean.
I don't know. I don't think it was one of. I think it was one of those things. They lure her in. They might have been. I don't know if it was sexually.
Well, it was on a dating app,
or if it was.
I mean,
just. Yeah. So I guess was that it? But I mean, him and the lady. I don't know. I don't know. It's just.
Well, and here we go back again to, like we've talked about before. And I'm not saying that man and woman has murdered before.
Yeah.
That's not their first rodeo. That's not the first time they've done some.
Oh, I bet not. Yeah.
So, who knows? That's not just all of a sudden we're going to kidnap this girl and dismember her.
Yeah, the old saying, man. A rapist gets caught on his 7th, 8th, or 9th rape.
Yeah, I think it's probably more to this story than that's been told, because I think, like Dobie said, this is probably not the first time that they've got charged or caught with this. I think they probably have done it before in the past and got away with it. And like all criminals like that, once they get away with it, they say, "Hey, we can do it again. Let's go do it again." And fortunately, unfortunately for this young lady here, she lost her life in a horrific way, and she, at least by them finding them and locking them up, hopefully it prevented someone else meeting their demise, as this young lady did as well.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'll tell you, because when you have that kind of mindset, I always think about this when I think about a little girl like that. At what point does she realize? You ever have that oh shit moment, guys, where you fucked up?
Oh yeah.
Like that moment when you're like,
no way out.
This is bad. Yeah, this is going to be bad. That moment where she's with these people, and all of a sudden, whatever happens, and it turns, and she's like, oh shit, I'm 16, I got this guy, and I'm in trouble, and. That's it. And she dies. That's got to be horrific, and especially for parents or her grandmother to find out that not only was she killed, but she was dismembered. That's somebody's child. I mean,
not only that, not to downplay that. Excuse me, not to downplay that though, but you got a bunch of other, peripheral damage
yeah,
as well. The
exactly.
cops that find these body parts.
Exactly.
Oh, my
These
God.
The stuff that we can't
evidence collector
unsee.
guys, this.
The people that have to go tell her grandmother.
Yeah.
And the grandmother has to sit through a court case.
Oh yeah.
Well, how about identifying the body?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, because I tell you what, one of the worst I saw was a lady had stabbed her, and just long story short, stabbed her infant baby and her 2 other little children, and then tried to kill herself. Like she's trying to do like a 4. That's terrible. Walking in and see a little baby with a fucking sucking chest wound.
Oh yeah, man, it's
And
terrible.
it's a little chest and shit. I mean, people had to go to
Oh yeah,
to
absolutely.
counseling. I mean, officers.
Man, what a rabbit hole we're going down here. So, what be your word of advice? Never go anywhere alone, especially like first dates, first anything, and at least tell somebody where you're going and when you should be home.
Yeah, well, the thing is this. What is this called? What do they call it when you trick somebody and think you're somebody you're not? What do you call it?
Catfishing. Yeah.
Catfish.
Catfish.
Yeah, catfishing.
Isn't that what it's called?
I have never
like
heard
this
that.
This girl's. It's catfish. It's like when you say, "Hey, I'm Mel Gibson," and I'm not. I'm the Rodnator. Like you try to be somebody else, and
Right.
all they know is you through a computer what you're writing. So
Oh
they
no,
think
exactly right. Yeah.
you're building a persona, and it's all false. Well, these kids, especially like kids like this, typical, raised by grandmother, where are the parents, kind of troubled. She's looking for a connection. She gets on a dating app. She's trying to find a nice guy. Maybe this guy said he was 18,
Oh yeah.
and she's
Yeah,
16.
you
She
never
thought
know.
it was okay, right? Then all of a sudden she shows up at the house, and he's older, but she goes, well, he was kind of nice, and then goes back the second day and realizes he's a fucking monster.
Of course they're nice the first time. Everybody tries to put on a first impression.
Oh, yeah. Like I told my kids when they were younger, boogeymen don't have the scar on their face and look like Frankenstein. They're really nice people, and they want to give you presents and do nice things for you. That's how they come.
Absolutely.
Ted Bundy was perfect case. He was a
Absolutely.
good-looking dude, smart, right? He lured women because they just looked at him and said,
Had a pretty
he's
smile.
handsome and nice and just very – he talked – he spoke well. Exactly.
Yep.
And he killed, 12, 15 people? So,
And that's only
yeah.
because they caught him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and do you really
he would've
know how
continued.
many he actually killed?
Oh, yeah. He would have continued. Oh, yeah. He was one of those guys.
Yeah. But another thing, too, is these apps.
Oh yeah.
I mean, these kids got to be careful with these apps.
Yep. I agree.
And just to go off and meet somebody.
It's like Rodney said, you can
true.
be anybody you
Yeah.
want to be on the computer.
You can be anybody you want to be. Behind that keyboard, you can be anybody you want to be.
It's kind of like us.
No, we are
pretend to be
podcasters. We pretend to be sober.
Good. Yeah, we pretend to be good cop podcasters. You're
We're
right.
legends in our own mind, but
Yeah.
that's how that works.
We're legend in our own bottle.
Exactly. The more we drink, the better we get. At least that's
Yep.
what we
Oh,
do.
yeah.
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 All right, good with that one, guys. All right. Well, just a sad story, but Dobie, you want to touch on this guy on the airplane? What's going on
Yeah,
with this
it's
guy?
kind of a quick thing, but this guy was he was going from, and I started looking at this. This guy was going from Wichita, Kansas. Yes, and I'm not going to try to pronounce his name.
He looks angry.
It
It's a
looks worse.
long name.
His name is I ain't going to try to pronounce it. Asterius Rumalaka. I think he's from Tanzania or somewhere originally.
Let's call him George.
Yeah.
Like the iguana.
Yeah, Bob.
Bob. So anyway, this is a side note.
I bet he
was
spells his
coming-
name backwards.
He was coming from Wichita, Kansas to D.C., which it was on the same flight path as the helicopter. I mean, the plane that got hit by the helicopter.
Yeah, because they were
really?
coming from
Yeah, it's
Wichita.
at the very
wasn't
bottom. Yeah, it's just kind
they? Yeah, okay.
Yep. So that's just kind of a caveat to it. But anyway, he was going to D.C. because he was mad at Trump and was going to go talk to Trump.
We better get in
he-
line.
Yeah, so he was flying on American Airlines. So he gets pissed off with the male attendant and tells him, when we land,
okay.
I'm going to fuck you up. That has led to a brawl and a fight, and several passengers contained him, and he assaulted a couple other passengers in the process, and he's been here in Texas, a Texas driver's license, I believe, but he's actually there's some kind of immigration issue with him. It went bad or something, but criminal history check uncovered that Rulamaka George, who has a Texas driver's license but was born in Tanzania, was flagged to the Department of Homeland Security in 2014 for overstaying his visa, the affidavit alleges. Immigration proceedings are pending, the court papers state.
Wow.
So he basically got pissed off with the flight attendant because he's going to go to D.C. because he's mad and going to see Trump.
Yeah, any mental
If he
issues
thinks
here,
he's just
they
going to walk
pick
right
up at
into the
all.
damn White
They
House,
don't
yeah,
say
he's
anything
fucking
about
mental.
that.
That ain't happening.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's mental. Yeah.
He said when they asked
going to-
why he wanted to speak to the president, he stated that he was mad.
Yeah, he's gonna be
Yeah.
put to the front of the line.
Yeah, he was just mad. That's what he said.
Oh, you're mad?
Oh, there you
Come
go.
on in.
Says he allegedly started running up and down the aisle before he was eventually restrained by the crew and 3 passengers.
See, that's the thing. Whenever the passengers if passengers would get, the first thing it says here, I read, Dope, is when people started getting their phones out to video.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
the first thing people do. They're videoing this dude about to smack the shit out of a
Yeah.
flight attendant without going to help. You know, first thing you want to do is just videotape. You know,
And they need to be charged. I think it should be a charge for that.
I just think too, like when you're in the air in a plane, like, you shouldn't be videoing because you could crash.
Yeah.
Like you should stop the guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, exactly right.
If you're on the earth, like if you're on the street and you're videoing, that's one thing. But you're in a plane, it's trying to land, and this guy's raising hell, and dude,
That's a freebie.
I don't
See,
like
and he was flagged by immigration in 2014.
It is a freebie.
Yeah.
No one's going to say shit. They're going to give you a medal.
Oh, yeah.
Or maybe not. You know, whatever. You get to
And
see what you got
a
left
lot of
in
people,
the tank.
a lot of people might ask, "Where's the air marshal?" But they're not on every flight.
No, mostly international, right? It's not usually local, is it?
Pretty
Aren't they
much, I
usually
think.
international?
But he was flagged by immigration.
He
on
shouldn't have
Homeland
been flying
Security
to start
in
with. He should have been
2014
on a no-fly
already.
list. Yeah.
How did he get on a plane? Exactly. I know when I
Yeah.
go to the airport, they look every which way up your ass.
Yeah.
You know, how the hell does he get on a plane?
I bet you fly a lot, don't you, big boy?
No, I love flying.
I tell you, funny. So when I used to fly down here a lot, I'd go to the Charlotte airport, and I go through there, and I get ready to go through TSA, and the guy's making this public announcement to everybody coming through before they go through the metal detector and all that nonsense. If you have any guns, knives, blah 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 blah, I'm like, do you really have to tell people that? He said you would be surprised. The people who just, oh fuck, I left my gun in my bag.
There's a
He
lot
said
of them.
you
I
would
forgot-
be surprised.
Yeah.
I forgot I left my gun in my bag.
Yeah, not only that, how many times us as cops, you go in some place like a federal building, you start walking there,
Yeah.
and crap, my
Yeah.
gun's in my pocket.
Oh, yeah.
You
It
know,
does.
It actually happens.
It does.
Sure. Half the time now, guys, I got to tell you, since being retired, mine's concealed. I just go anywhere. I don't give a
Oh
shit.
yeah.
Like,
What's he
I
gonna
really
say to
don't
you?
think about it.
Unless
Yeah.
if you need it, what does it matter?
Yeah, and
They say,
right.
yeah.
If you need it, no one's going to say shit because it's going to be for good reason. And if they don't
Yeah.
check you, they're not going to know you have it because it's concealed. So either way.
I had a buddy up here ask me that very question. He's kind of scared about carrying it. What I'm supposed to do? I said, just carry it, dude.
Yep.
You know, if you need it, who cares if you shouldn't have it? Because if you need
Yeah.
it, and if you don't need it, who's ever going to know?
That's my story too. Like sometimes when I'm out, we'll go get dinner and I'll have a glass of wine or something like that. And technically, you're not supposed to have your gun if you're going to drink alcohol, right?
Yeah.
I'm
Right.
not
You're
gonna
not supposed to
have
take it to an alcohol establishment.
establishment, right? But I'm not gonna disarm myself because I'm in an alcohol establishment. I'm just not. You know, if I'm getting dinner or something. So, and then if they want to charge me
That's
with a
cool.
misdemeanor later on after I take care of business and save my life and save my wife's life and save the whole bar,
Yep.
that's fine. But I'll take the charge. But yeah, I'm not going to disarm myself
Yeah.
just to make you feel better. You know,
And two, there's a difference if you go sit down, and I'm not condoning drinking and guns. I'm not. All I'm saying, but there is a difference.
You don't want now?
And we all have
While we all
guns
drink.
within reaching distance.
go drink.
Yeah. Never. But, I mean, there's a difference. in
Sidebar:
having-
We are at home, so
Yeah. We're at
Not
home.
driving
we're
anywhere.
Right.
and there's a difference in
Yeah.
having a beer.
They're going to a bar and getting sloppy drunk.
Oh yeah, if I'm going
Right.
to a bar with you guys, we're gonna hammer
Right.
beers and do shit.
Right.
I'm not gonna have a gun with me.
No.
obviously. I'm saying when
Yeah.
I'm just out. You know,
Yeah,
being
exactly.
Normal.
Yeah, there's a difference in that.
Being normal.
Why we
I've
ever
never seen that side of you, Rod. Never.
yeah. Wow. You must be hiding that one pretty good. We never see that one.
Yeah, there's a complete different.
Yeah.
That's a completely different thing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I will say this too: if I go out and which I'm carrying, it's rare that I'm not, and I sit down and I go somewhere like, well, I might have a beer with my burger or something. I'm going to limit. I know I'm carrying something that's going to be done. It's not going to be.
Until you just get so used to it. A lot of times I'm hiking. I'm gonna carry it, cause the bears and stuff. I carry a gun. I'm hiking or I'm here, and I'll find myself. I'm out in the yard. I go see a buddy, up the mountain. Side by side, go up there, and he's like, "Really need to bring a gun?" I'm like, "Oh, I didn't cross my mind."
Yeah, it's become like my cell phone. I grab my keys, I grab my wallet, my phone, and my gun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a tool. It is a tool in our tool belt.
It's just an assumption around my household.
yeah.
You got a gun, yeah.
Yeah. I've had people hug me at church and go, "What the hell's that?" I go, "It's my pistol." I go,
Yeah,
"You carry a
don't-
pistol at church?" Yeah.
How many
they're
church
like, hey,
shootings
Ron,
have you
they're-
been
You
in?
not heard of church shootings?
They're like, "Hey, Rodney, I hope that's a gun," or "You're glad there's any one."
Yeah,
I don't know which it
exactly.
is.
Yeah. We're in a house of God, friend. Let's calm that thing down there.
All right, guys, we are 1 hour into the show.
All right.
Any
I think
last-
we did that about perfect.
Oh,
Yeah. Any last shout outs? One of that boys, anything you want
Anybody? Excuse me. Question. I got a little shout out too, but question: how are the Charlotte guys?
Oh,
to?
they're
Yeah,
good.
touch on that right quick, Rodney, for our listeners.
You know, I don't really know a whole lot about it. Short of, I have a feed with a bunch of other police, retired and not, and I just heard shooting, two transported. One was a leg injury, and the other one had a non-life-threatening injury. I'm not sure of the body. Suspect dead. And
Yeah,
after I
bad
hear
guy
that, guys,
DRT. Dead
Yeah,
right
after-
there.
Yeah.
after I hear that, I tune out. I'm glad. I'm good. Bad
Save
guy
the
dead.
taxpayers some money. No
I
trial.
did see a picture of the guy. He was like a 28-year-old kid,
Yeah.
20-year-old guy.
Talking about the bad guy?
Yeah.
But I know. I'm pretty sure it was a traffic stop. Got out of
Okay.
the car. He got out of the car with a gun.
And he lost.
Well, fuck around,
I think
find
that's
out.
what it was.
Yeah, what do you think's happening?
Yep.
Yeah.
Fuck around, find out. Exactly right.
Well, I do want to shout out to our new subscribers. We'll have to look them up and see exactly who all was this past week subscribed. We do have new subscribers. We appreciate you listening, following us, and listening in.
I do have a little shout out. It's I was doing a little research today, and March 13th, and I know a few weeks ago I had that bottle with the military working dog on it. But March 13th is National Military Working Dog Veteran. So veteran working dogs from the military. National Military
cool.
Veteran Working Dogs Day. Shout out to all the ones that.
Does that happen every 7 years?
Oh, I like that.
I expect nothing less than that.
Yeah.
I expect nothing else from you.
F you, slow. F you.
It's not a fuck you, but it's a implied fuck you.
Yeah, it's kind of like for the non-dog listeners, 7 years lifespan to one human at 1 year.
Right.
And you may notice, but I just read an article that's not necessarily true. It depends on the breed of the dog and the size of the dog.
It depends on the breed of the dog, but it also depends on certain the first so many years are, and then it changes, and that is dependent on breeds, but it's still kind of a
Or if they smoke and drink, or
Yeah.
I'm
If they're
sure.
police dog, they probably
Sure.
oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Yeah, they probably
Oh,
got
yeah.
two or three divorces in their background too.
You got to be a police to have one.
All right, if you like and hear what you see, and hit that like button, hit subscribe button, and we appreciate you listening. Appreciate the listener side, appreciate the YouTube side, and we are working on being on
cool.
Rumble, so that should happen soon too.
Oh, Rumble won't put us in jail.
Yeah.
Yep.
That'll get
Yeah, I got-
spicy
I-
down there.
I got a shout out. I want to shout out to
Can't
my
even bar
wife,
the door.
Bobby. She's my rock. She lets me do this shit,
Suck
or
up.
allows me to do this shit in the middle of the night, or not in the middle of the night, but taking time away from her. And she likes watching the podcast. So, Bobby, I appreciate you. Love you. Just she
Yeah.
She
would
like
rather
watching with you.
me not
or
be on
alone?
it for some reason. She likes watching you guys better. But it is what it is.
That's
what
right there.
it
He's
is.
always flexing. That's what it is.
I just got to take a fucking drink. What the hell are you talking
But that's all I got to say about that.
All right, just keep in mind when we drink, we do drink at home. We're not going anywhere. We certainly support drinking responsibly, and also the PTSD. If you have a problem, reach out and find a friend. Call us
That's
and
right.
get help. We're here for it. And I've never met a retired cop, especially that doesn't have
Yeah.
some form of that.
Yep.
about? Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It was like you guys said, and you said, "What? This is
Yeah.
very therapeutical." I think Dobie said it.
Yeah.
That
This
too.
podcast. Want to say something wrong?
And as always,
It's
let's
gotta be
drink
new
about
word,
it and
but
drink
we'll
responsibly.
go
This has been a Studio 77 production.
That was my line.
Voice of the young people.
All right. We are done. You mean it's over? Well, shit.